first story is titled, Am I the A-hole for my reaction when my 30-year-old fiancé exchanges gift with my 16-year-old brother? I, female 26, been with my fiancé for 3 years. We both work and we both share rent and other expenses. But my fiancé is currently looking for a new job. He lost his old job 3 months ago. My family lives 30 minutes away, and although it's been difficult this year, I decided to get my brother, who has a chronic condition and struggled a lot lately, and was in the hospital for a few days for anemia. The one thing he's been wanting for some time. I got him an Xbox that cost me $300. He was so happy, and I'm glad I was able to cheer him up during those times. My fiancé received a few gifts from his family, but he wasn't happy with any of them. I got him a perfume, and he liked it. We were visiting my family and we had dinner with them. My fiancé looked at the Xbox I got from my brother and didn't stop talking about it. My parents noticed. I told him to stop complaining about what he got/didn't get this year. That made them uncomfortable, especially since they've been dealing with my brother's health issues and needed to relax. We got home and my fiancé took something from the closet and left for about an hour. I was asleep when he came back. In the morning, I was surprised to find my brother's Xbox in the closet. I woke him up and asked him about it. Turned out, he dropped me off, drove back to my family's house, and exchanged the gift his aunt gave him, a $14 fancy pen, with my brother's Xbox. He said that my brother was happy to exchange gifts. I was so mad. I told him this wasn't for him, and he basically took something that is not his. Not to mention a pen for an Xbox? That's ridiculous. He told me that maybe I shouldn't have spent $300 while trying to pay for rent. I told him as long as I can pay rent, that's not a problem, and that he needs to find a job if he thinks my money isn't enough. I called my mom, and I found out that they didn't actually exchange gifts. My fiancé pressured my brother into giving him his Xbox. I was livid and so mad. I told him to take the Xbox back to my brother, but he said it was between him and my brother, but I insisted. He refused, so I ended up taking it myself. My fiancé argued when I took it, and said that I was pressuring him and treating him poorly and have no respect for his feelings. I told him he was wrong to make my brother give him his gift and causing him stress and ruining his joy. I apologized to my brother and my parents, and I felt awful because of how my fiancé behaved. My fiancé isn't talking to me, saying that I have no consideration for his feelings and not understanding how he feels not having money to buy himself the things he likes. I'm surprised because he has never done anything like this before. I get that he's struggling with finding a job, but this is not an excuse. Now let's read the top judgment of this post. Not an a-hole. You may want to consider trading in the fiancé though. Doesn't need to be an even trade. Tell him to keep the pen. Cut your losses. Not an a-hole. Fiancé for nothing. Would be trading up at this point. He's a huge a-hole. Info. Why are you with this a-hole? Like, what redeeming qualities does he possess? He's never done anything like this before, and I'm shocked. Ever since he lost his job, he's been behaving strangely. Ever since he lost his job, he's been showing you another part of him. This is still him. When things don't go his way, this is how he behaves. Stress, frustration, and disappointment are no excuse for such behavior. He basically stole, through guilt, your sick little brother's Christmas present. If it was me, he'd be an ex-fiancé. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for not thinking the joke my family played on my girlfriend was a big deal? I, 25 male, have a girlfriend, 23 female, who is absolutely beautiful, but she does have a large facial scar. My family often jokes about it. They have a super dark sense of humor. It bothers my girlfriend, and she says it doesn't feel like a joke. It feels like she's being insulted under the pretense of it being dark humor. Even though I explain it's just how they are and they don't mean any harm, she doesn't really want to be around them. I told her it was really important to me we spend Christmas with my family. We would all quarantine first and test, but it was important to me. She resisted at first, but after some urging from me, she gave in. She said I absolutely could not excuse their behavior if they made a rude comment about her though. We got there and it was fine for a while. Then my mom and sister broke out their matching ugly sweaters. that had my girlfriend's face all over it. They both laughed, saying my mom made them screen printed and it was a joke. My dad thought it was hilarious. I even chuckled a little because she's really beautiful, so it was ironic they put her on the ugly sweater. My girlfriend looked at me, and when I said they were just being ironic, she shook her head, got up, and left. Didn't say anything to anyone, just took her car and left. I called her several times and she didn't answer. The only text I received was, "You need to find your own way home." That pissed me off, and I called her a couple more times. The whole time, my mom is upset because it was just a joke, and she didn't realize my girlfriend was going to overreact like that. I told her that a warning would have been nice, but my sister agreed it was a joke, and my girlfriend was being a baby about it. I had another fight with my girlfriend when I finally got home, and she said I was an a-hole for putting her in that situation, and I said I didn't realize they were going to do that, and they were being ironic because she was beautiful. She said I let them treat her badly, and was trying to make it her fault when it was my family who was acting badly. I said it was just a joke and that she was overreacting. She asked how it was supposed to be a joke. I said that was just their sense of humor. I said I was sorry she was offended by the joke, but she ruined the whole day with her reaction. She said that no, them realizing she wasn't going to take their BS anymore ruined the day. We aren't speaking currently, but when a cousin called to wish me a Merry Christmas and asked how the day went, I mentioned what happened and he straight up called me an a-hole for doing that to her. I don't really think I've done anything though. I didn't know they were going to do that. And really, it was just a joke, and I think she's overreacting. Am I really the a-hole here? You're the a-hole. Massive, you're the a-hole. You might think your girlfriend is beautiful, but I guarantee you that when she looks in the mirror, she doesn't see beauty. She sees a defacing scar. And you allow and support your family in making that the identifying feature of how they see her. By allowing your family to treat her that way, she is no longer your beautiful girlfriend. She is that freak with a scar that he brought over. A joke is not a joke if the subject of it is not laughing. You are such an a-hole. I want to really smack you over the head with this fact. Piggybacking on the top comment so people see this, as I also have prominent facial scarring and I haven't seen this point anywhere. It's not just about being ugly. If you tell me I have an ugly nose or an ugly smile, no worries. It's rude, but I can deal with it. But people don't get large facial scars in a vacuum. It's very likely that something awful and traumatic happened to them which caused the scar. The events leading up to my scarring were over 15 years ago, and I can still confidently say it's the worst thing that's happened to me in my life. So not only are you and your family making fun of her for being ugly, they're likely reminding her of a very traumatic event in her past that I'm sure she would like to move on from and not have to think about on what is supposed to be a happy day. This is a really good point, and now I'm even angrier at Opie. I hope she dumps him and his a-hole family. You and your family are the a-holes here, 100%. Also, screen-printed shirts? They really invested money into bullying her, and you think that's cute or something? You're the a-hole. You are enabling your family to bully your partner. There is nothing that is even remotely okay about this. I'm surprised she hasn't dumped you for letting it go on this long. Now let's read the next story. Am I the a-hole for wanting a full reimbursement on my bridesmaid dress after future sister-in-law replaced me? Our country has no restrictions, and we are allowed to have parties and weddings if we follow some state-imposed rules. My 22 female, brother 23 male, is getting married on January 2021 to Sue, 31 female. She wanted a very uniform aesthetic wedding and only selected her blonde friends and me as her bridesmaids so that everyone would look the same. I still think it's stupid, but since she didn't force or ask any of her friends to dye their hair, not to my knowledge at least, I shut my mouth. Now to the a-hole part. Anne, one of my bestest friends from my friend group, finally came out as gay to her very strict Asian parents, and they kicked her out. She was devastated and was staying with one of my friends. We had a girls' night, got really drunk, and did something stupid. We all shaved our hair, bleached it, and colored it different colors of the rainbow flag to show support. Looked kind of stupid, but she seemed really happy to see her friends supporting her, and at the end of the day, it's just hair. Who cares? The next day when I was sober, I called my sister-in-law and told her what I had done. There was still almost 4 months to the wedding, and if she wanted to replace me, she could have. She said it was alright, and in November, we picked out the bridesmaid dresses, $950 for one. It was expensive, and I had to pay it all for myself. My sister-in-law never commented on my hair whenever we saw each other, and never told me she had a problem. Last week on family dinner, she pulled me aside to tell me I was being replaced. But since I already bought the dress, she wanted me to give the dress to her friend to try it on. If it fits, she will keep it, and if it doesn't, she will try altering it or buy a new one. I was a bit sad, because I had asked her several times before this and she always said it was okay. I told her her friend can keep her dress and I would need a full reimbursement for it. She told me it was not possible, and since she was going to be family, she wanted me to give her the dress for free, so that even if her friend can't fit into my dress, they could try returning it to the store and buying a new one in a different size. I am a college student, and I had to spend a large chunk of my savings to buy that dress. I want full reimbursement. I asked her why she didn't tell me before we went dress shopping, and she told me she didn't want to hurt my feelings and kept her mouth shut. I was mad. I told her I don't want to keep that dress, and I needed a full reimbursement no matter what she does with that dress. She went and cried to my brother and decided with her and they both left. My parents don't want me to start drama. If they want me to keep my mouth shut, I want my parents or my brother to give me that money, which they refuse to do. Now, everyone thinks I'm being petty, and some of my ex-co-bridesmaids messaged me on Instagram calling me a petty, money-hungry witch who does not know the value of family, which is way more valuable than money. Am I the a-hole? Am I being petty? Now I'm confused. Not the a-hole. She's the a-hole for having a damn near $1,000 bridesmaid dress, making you buy it, relaxing you in the bridal party and expecting you to eat the cost. You could have worn a wig. Do not give up that dress for free. She can add that to her wedding expenses if she wants it back. I would show up to her wedding in the dress, as a guest, if I didn't get my money back. Your brother needs to stick up for you and demand repayment. Oh, I love this pettiness. That is a great idea. I would first return it if possible. I wouldn't do another thing for this a-hole OP. You are definitely in the right. Not the a-hole. She didn't tell you because she wanted you to buy the dress to give to someone else. She knew this whole time she wasn't letting you be a bridesmaid. That is exactly what she did. She is a con artist. You should expose her to everyone. Do not give up the dress to her unless she has cash in hand. She's replacing you as bridesmaid because of something unimportant like hair. So she doesn't know the value of family in my opinion. You're not the a-hole. She is. Also, why should you gift a $1,000 dress? That's insane. She acted like $1,000 was not that big of an amount and tried really hard to get me to give that dress for free. $1,000 is a ton of money for me, a college student working part-time. Now, for the last story. Am I the a-hole for not going to my brother's wedding and telling him marrying my ex was horrible? I, 30 female, dated a man named John from freshman year of high school to middle of freshman year of college. I proposed to him and he broke it off, saying he just wasn't right for me. I respected that. I still have feelings for him, but this isn't about that for judgment, just a bit of history. My brother Kyle, 22 male, had been in college for 2 years now and confessed 3 months in their relationship that he met John at a bar and they hit it off. Well, time skipped to last month. They've been together for 2 years and John proposed on Thanksgiving at their house. I found out later in a call. And my brother said yes. My brother asked if I would be maid of honor. I was stunned. This felt like a nightmare and I said no. Hell no. And that I wasn't going to the wedding. It was held yesterday on Christmas Eve, and the only ones there were mom and dad, them and John's uncle to officiate the vows. Here's where I'm not sure if I'm the a-hole. They came over to brunch today, and John and my brother were being lovey-dovey, cuddling and talking to my mom and dad about their honeymoon to Taiwan when COVID is over. And I finally asked if they talk about something else and how it's hard on me to hear. When my brother tried to apologize for being affectionate, I told him he should apologize for making me see my ex as a brother-in-law. Mom and dad, especially John, are claiming I'm being an a-hole while I'm arguing it's my right to be upset. Am I the a-hole? Added info. John is 31 years old. I did express my feelings to my brother when he confessed about their relationship, but he told me I can't just call dibs on a guy. And John and I never had intercourse during our relationship. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. It doesn't matter that he is gay. In my opinion, there are social norms where you don't date your friends' exes, and you certainly don't date your family members' exes. You dated for about 4.5 years. It's not like it was a short-term relationship. That is not something that is easy to have thrown in your face every time your family gets together. I bet these people calling you the a-hole wouldn't be saying that if it were your sister who was marrying him. I know that I personally would not feel comfortable being a part of my sister's wedding if she were to marry my ex-girlfriend from 15 years ago. I'm definitely over that relationship, but it just doesn't feel right. Exactly my point. If it was her sister, those would be all not the a-holes. Since when has it become acceptable to date someone who spent 4.5 years with your sibling? I would never do this to my sisters. Softly, softly, you're the a-hole. You weren't his type for slightly more obvious reasons, and people can't control who they love, as you can attest. You've had 2 years to make peace with this, and you really need to, or else it's going to continue to mess up your family. They don't owe you anything. You have no ownership over this man. They deserve to be happy together. Thank you for your judgment. I want to, and I've been trying to, but I dated him for so long and loved him for so long. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you with the next one. Stay safe.